All right, let's switch gears here. Let's get on to the matter at hand. Let's talk about minimum wage. Now, Quebec Solidaire, they had a policy convention over the weekend, and one of the things that they are proposing is a minimum wage of $20. And right away, by the way, they say next May, increase it to $20. But of course, that proposed hike has met some opposition. One group, which represents 97,000 small and medium-sized Canadian businesses, say the increase would cost Quebec employers too much and add serious pressure onto businesses, as well as influence inflation in the country. François Vincent joins us from the Quebec CFIB, the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. He's vice president there. François, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So why is $20 minimum wage a bad idea?
Because it's a massive increase, one shot. It's a 31% increase. For businesses. So what it would do, it would basically cost $11,000 for an employee who has one employee at a minimum wage, and after that, for businesses, wages are one of the more what costs more for a business. So they will be able to give a 31% increase for the other employee? No, they would not. So basically, it's going to be the middle class who will lose power of spending with that proposition. Mm-hmm. And we evaluated it, and it would cost $1 billion for employers in Quebec if Mr. Boulet would take that proposition and implemented it.
So current minimum wage, $15.25 per hour. Last year's increase was the largest increase in a very long time. And of course, that's all due to inflation. What I hear, François, the people that work minimum wage, they say they're suffering, right? They're trying to put food on the table. Some of them, they're working full-time at minimum wage. They have families and they're struggling. And, they need a more significant increase than just 75 cents in the next time around, right? Or whatever the going rate will be if we go by how we've done it in years past. Are small businesses, in your estimation, are they open to something just a little bit more substantial? I know, I think the argument against 31% increase in one shot, I think you've got a case. But what about just a larger increase, getting to $20 faster than it would happen if we just did 75 cents a year for the next 10 years?
But the increase has to be balanced. If you increase it too much and you putting pressure to the inflation again, we're not gaining anything for anybody. After that, if you're increasing too much and you put some job at risk or some business at risk, we are not, as a society, good in that. Again, there's measures to help the people who are in need right now. You can increase the basic personal amount. You can put work bonuses, targeted tax credit. And we have to remember that the majority of people who are on minimum wage are students. It's 58% of people on the minimum wage who are between 15 and 24 years old. And 85% of them are working part-time. Also, there are a study of Statistics Canada who have shown that 47% of minimum wage workers do not stay on that for 1 year. Less than 1 year, and they are not on minimum wage. So, and 39% is between 1 and 5 years. So it's an entry salary. So you have a proportion of that who are in bad situation, but we can help them by target measure and not by increasing the minimum wage at $20 an hour. And put a cost of $1 billion on the shoulder of small businesses who are in a bad shape right now.
Continuing our conversation here with François Vincent from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. We're talking about minimum wage. François, when I talk to economists, people who study the economy, one thing that I hear often is that Quebec lags behind in efficiency and productivity. And they say that, sometimes business groups in this country, they advocate for low minimum wage so that they can continue to be less efficient and less productive. And what they need to be doing is investing in technology and other things to become more productive. Isn't that something Canadian businesses need to do better? Quebec businesses need to do better, become more productive so that they can get more out of a minimum wage employee and then hopefully be able to raise that minimum wage to $18, $20 because those employees are more productive.
The businesses have to invest in their productivity. They have to invest in their automation. But it is not true that businesses just want to have cheap labor and do not pay their employees. You have the shortage of labor, and you saw in our data of CFIB that the wages increases have been more important in Quebec and in the rest of the country, basically because we do not have employees. So businesses have to increase the salary of the employees, and we have looked at in the data also. You have the proportion of the people who are in minimum wage that have decreased in the last year in Quebec. And for automation and for productivity, for sure. But we have to not forget that Quebec is the society who have the higher taxes for small businesses. You know that businesses have to pay payroll taxes for employees when they pay their wages. They have to pay taxes. It is 30% higher in Quebec than the average of Canada. And also, we are the only province who do not give access to the small business tax rate, to the smallest businesses of the construction sector and services sector. So they have to pay the tax rate of the multinational. So there is some places to help them to have more money in their pocket and to invest in best salary and to invest in productivity.
François, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us for the conversation.
Thank you.
That's
Bye-bye.
François Vincent from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses.